Hi, I'm Clint with Fountainhead Mechanical. As you can see, we're here in a parkade of an apartment building, and I'm going to give you a brief explanation on what kitchen stacks are and how we service them. A kitchen stack is a building or common drain. Think of it like a tree. The kitchen stack is the trunk or the main drain for the building, and all the sinks are the branches which tie into the trunk. Once it goes into the trunk, it goes down to the ground and leaves. And you might be wondering why cleaning these is important. Well, there's a couple of reasons. Because it is a kitchen sink, we tend to put a lot of stuff down there. Even if we don't mean to, it's inevitable. We have grease going down off of every plate or pot. As well, as because it is a common or building drain, the kitchen stack is shared by other people. And this is why we need to service this every 2 years to prevent any future issues. Kitchen stack maintenance has 2 phases. The first phase is jetting or flushing of all horizontal lines in the parkade. This is basically a high pressure wash of all the insides of the pipe to ensure that there's no buildups in the bottom of the parkade. The second phase is to auger or cable from your unit at the top and cable from the kitchen sink into the kitchen stack and all the way down to the parkade. This is to remove all buildup on vertical piping from the top of the building all the way to the parkade. After we're completed, we'll then do bucket test or flushing and running of water to test and make sure that we are monitoring from top to bottom to ensure all buildup is gone and flushed to the city and we have no issues. Garburators are bad news. Garburators are an old way of disposing of waste food. As of these days, we now have green bin, and we're really trying to not put anything down our sinks other than soap and water. The reason for this is because in a multi-dwelling unit, if everyone starts throwing food down their drains, if it does plug, the guy on the bottom is the first guy to flood. The reason for this is because of too much buildup in the lines with not enough water flow. Here's a question I get asked all the time. What should I not put down my drain? Well, first of all, as far as I'm concerned, it should only be soap and water going down there. But the worst things you can put down your drain is rice, because rice expands. And of course, coffee grinds. Coffee grinds basically turn into concrete when they hit a fitting or a horizontal line. The other thing is just grease in general. Of course, it is inevitable every time we rinse a plate or a pot, it is inevitable that the grease does get down there. But the least amount you can put down your sink, the better for everyone. How do you tell if you need kitchen stack maintenance? Well, there's a few things. If you have glugging or chugging, and this is basically water not being able to drain or air not being able to move. The second is slow drain. Once you have a slow drain, that is because of buildup in the line. What happens is the water wants to leave the sink, but it doesn't have enough room in the pipe because of buildup. This will cause your sink to be slow to drain or not drain at all. People ask me, can I use Drano or other types of chemical to remove blockages? No, I believe that putting chemicals down your drains does not help the cause. What you should be doing is asking to get your sink cabled or augered. This is a metal cable that spins. We introduce it into the inside of the pipe and we go all the way down as far as we can, and this will clear any buildup on the inside of the pipe. This is by far the best way to get rid of any blockages. When augering, I count out per foot how many feet the cable goes down. Now, in a unit, you only have maybe at most 20 feet of pipe before you get to the common drain or kitchen stack. At this point, if the blockage is farther than the unit, this becomes a building issue. This is where the building stack or common drain has a blockage, which is affecting more than one suite. In order to efficiently get rid of the blockage, we would auger past the blockage, and then I always go an extra 20 feet above. Sewer odors, everybody hates them. And the reason for that is accumulated buildup in lines. Most of the time you will get this from garburators because they are, for the most part, they have food stuck in them all the time. A good way to prevent this is if you do have sewer smells and your sink is actually slow to drain, your best bet is to get an auger and cable the line to remove any type of blockages. Once the blockage is removed, then we can flush out the line with fresh hot water.